for the planar manipulator because it's easy to apply, and then we'll take this. Eventually, we'll take it to the UR5, but for now, let's look at the tooling manipulator. It's a bit cluttered because I've put all the length dimensions. Here, there are two questions asked. We want to compute the Jacobian of point E, this point, and then the Jacobian of point P, which is that point. Okay. So what I'm going to try to do is use that summary to figure out what J is, and then use Python to do the rest of us, that is to do the computations for me. Okay, I just need to write down in terms of R's and O's. So here is the solution. Let me just write it. I should have, okay, let me just do it from scratch. So for A, let's do this Jacobian for E. Okay, so for E, what we'll do is we'll ask ourselves, first of all, it's a 3 degree of freedom manipulator. There is Q1, Q2, Q3, or theta 1, theta 2, theta 3. All of them are revolute joints. So all we have to do is refer to copy. So we don't even need these. Just chuck them off. Okay, so that's all we need. So with that, we can start writing down the formula. So for JE, it will be JV maybe I should write it as JE, JE, and J omega E. Okay, and then we can figure out the dimensions. It's going to be it's always 6 cross DOF n, so n is 3. So 6 cross 3, 3 cross 3, 3 cross 3. Okay, so what is JVE? Okay, so we only have to refer to this part for JVE. It's going to be, I will be, first I put I equals 0. So R0, 0. And now here's the thing about n. N is a unit vector along the degree of freedom. In this case, all the n's are k, right? 0, 0, 1, because the axes are pointing along the z direction. So all I need to do is put k here. Okay, crossed with O. So this is going to be the position of the end effector. So let me call that E, E being the position of the end effector, minus O, 0, 0. Similarly, R1, 0, K crossed with E0 minus O1, 0. And then finally, R2, 0, K, E0 minus O2, 0. Okay, that's that. It's pretty simple. Now, J omega E equals, we have to refer to this formula, 0, 0, K, R1, 0, K, R2, 0, K. That's it. Okay. Now, how do you do all that? You could do it by hand, which I highly don't recommend because there's a chance of making a mistake. Or you could do it using symbolic package. I'll just use a symbolic package to do all that because everything has been done by us in some form earlier. Okay, so now comes the more interesting part. which is J of P, which is J V of P, J omega of P. Okay, so J V P. Okay, again, I need to use the same two formulas, except that now N will become P, right? Everything else remains the same. Okay, so just trying to be a little bit lazy here. Copy. Okay, so don't copy this down because this is actually incorrect. Hold on. I'll fix it in just a bit. But let's put this way. Okay, now don't copy this because there is a problem here. This is not the right expression. Well, we did the right thing, which is we copied it, but you can't just write it like this because following reasons. What is the Jacobian of P? If you look at the figure, which is here, we're trying to find the Jacobian of P. Okay, P is the body frame of link 2. Okay, so when you move q1 or theta1, P will move, right? That's what the definition of Jacobian is. Basically gives the change of P with respect to change of theta1, actually theta1 dot, right? It's the linear change and the angular change. So if theta1 changes, P changes, but if theta2 changes, P will not change because P is basically attached to frame 2 and it is moving with frame 2. Similarly, for this one, movement of theta2 and theta3 has no effect on P. It's only the previous links which have an effect on P. Okay, so no matter how you change theta2, so let's say if you change theta1, P will actually move, right? Here, but theta2 is associated with this one, and its change will only make that frame move, which means that it's not really going to make P move in the linear or the angular sense. So what we need to do is we need to go back and just make this 0. We have 3 cross 1, 3 cross 1. Okay, is that clear? Theta1, because after all, what theta1 is, what Jacobian is telling you is the linear or angular change in point P when you change each of these. When you make theta1 dot equal to 1 and keep everything 0, will P change? Yes, it will change. But if you put theta2 dot equals 1 and then keep theta1 and theta3 stationary, then P is not changing, right? So let's see. I think the second one is a little hard to understand. So let's say that theta1 dot is 0. Okay, then theta3 is 0. This is point P. Okay, theta1 dot is 0, theta2 dot is 1, which means that this link is going to have, in some time, it's going to have a new configuration here. And then it'll go here, and then it'll go here. But this point P is not moving, it's stationary. So its linear speed is 0, its angular speed is 0. And that's why that would be 0. And same for this, if you use the same reasoning, it will be R0K, 0, 3 cross 1, 0, 3 cross 1. Okay, so L1, L2, L3 I define as symbolic. Of course, I need to import symbolic toolbox. And there's something else I need just to make my life easy. I have this thing called vec2skew, which takes a vector, convert to a skew symmetric matrix. It's needed because I have a cross product, which I don't want to calculate the usual way. So this is N is the same as K, 0, 0, 1. So this is a rotation matrix of frame 0 with respect to itself is always identity matrix. R01, if you recognize, this is the homogeneous transformation about the k-axis or the z-axis, theta 1 being the variable. O1 is 0, 0, 0. HO1 is basically taking R01, O1. Same for R12, using theta 2, L1, and so on and so forth. Okay, so H02, I need to multiply H01, H12. I extract the first three rows, first three columns to get R02, R03. Then I get O02, O03. Everything is so far straightforward. There's nothing new here. And then I get the position of O1, O2, O3. This is all in the world frame now, not in the base frame. The small o, so this one was O23, that was in frame 2. Position of 3 with respect to frame 2. This is position of 1 with respect to frame 0, and so on. I use the small o because I want to keep only the first 3 elements of O1, not all 4, because remember, this will give me 4 elements, right? Because I multiply a 4 by 4 with a 4 cross 1. Anyway, so to get JE, is essentially the formula I wrote down here. R00n times E0 minus O1, and so forth. So 3 rows. I use horizontal stack. Horizontal stack. That row should be a vertical. Horizontal stack. So this will be 3 cross 1 for sure. 3 cross 1. Okay, we can check what the output is. It should be a 3 cross 3 matrix. And then J omega E. Why did I write it like this? I think this was a comment, just so you understand. Okay, and then JP, I have just zeros for the second and third column. And then JWP has zeros in the second and third column. So we just run this. Okay, so there it is. Yeah, so it does do its job. This is going to be 3 cross 3. This first 3 rows are basically JV, and then the last JP, and then the last 3 are J omega P. Okay, so that's JP. This one is slightly long, but that's JE. Okay, so how do we know this is right? Well, we don't know this is right unless one way to check this is you can actually do the symbolic derivation in a different way. You could write the position of point E in world frame. You can do that because you know the homogeneous matrix, and then do the derivative like I did it with this way. So you could write position of, all you have to do is write a position of the end effector and then take the derivative with respect to Q1, Q2, Q3, and that will give you symbolic way of getting J. But you could also do it this formula and check it. So that's one way of checking. The other way, what we'll do is actually show you how you can write that numerically, the same thing, and then compare it against what MuJoCo thinks it is. We'll do the calculation for JE, but the same thing can be repeated for, we can do it for both.